Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle Blue Velvet, Season 1, Episode 5, and the name of this episode is Healing Takes Time. I'll have to go to say this is a really great episode, and I enjoyed it, and I'm really seeing how this process is really strengthening Brandon and Jabril's relationship, and this was a really good episode because we're seeing that they still have a lot more growing to do, but they've made so much progress. But before I get started with this review, let me offer my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the tragedy in Texas, as well as Las Vegas, as well as everyone that was affected by the hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Jose, and Maria. If you can give any type of relief or support to people that were affected by these tragedies, please do so, because we definitely need to support our fellow man in these crucial times that we're living in. But also, before I get started, I need you to subscribe to brtbtv.com. If you have not already done so, you need to do it now. Subscribe to brtbtv.com because they have some of the best content, as far as the gay community, as well as, great stories, stories that not only grip you, but keep you at the edge of your seat. So, and there's always some, great things going on with brtbtv.com. So we also I think soon some new shows are going to be reintroduced again too. So definitely subscribe to brtbtv.com because you're missing out. And by subscribing and getting subscribing to brtbtv.com, you pretty much get all the shows. So definitely jump on it right now because there's so much great things going on brtbtv.com, and you definitely want to be a part of that. Also, let me give a shout out to actually one of my friends in the Triangle Fan Club, Andrea Parker. She actually reached out to me, and I want to make this announcement on this video that, look, Triangle Fan Club is not just Triangle the series, it's everything, BRTB-TV. So everything BRTB-TV you can find on the Triangle Fan Club. Because Triangle is the tree, but there are many branches to Triangle, and you should embrace them all because each show represents, its own caricature, its own body, its own work of, its own creation, its own work. And all of them should be respected because each show is different and each show has something different to bring to the table. So I think we need to actually, as true fans of brtbtv.com, we need to embrace not only Triangle the series, but also what comes from Triangle, like Triangle Blue Velvet, Triangle the Secret Storm. We have Three-Siders that's about to come back. Shows like Davenport Diaries and Dark Horse. There are a lot of great things that are coming out, of brtbtv.com. So when you go to Triangle Fan Club, you're going to get everything brtbtv.com. You'll also get interactions with the cast and with the crew, as well as all the fans of brtbtv.com, as well as updates from the creator, Caesar Williams himself. So yes, brtbtv.com as well as Triangle Fan Club. Check out both of them. And Andrea, I'd like to thank you, for reaching out to me. I greatly appreciate that. And yes, definitely subscribe to brtbtv.com and also check out the Triangle Fan Club. But now realize you're going to get everything BRTB-TV, info on the Triangle Fan Club. So tune in and enjoy because there's a lot coming up. So this episode was really moving to me because it really showed a lot. We actually got to see Brittany again, and Brittany's so adorable. But Brittany was there hoping that, Brandon was going to be surprised about the dinner. But we already know that Jabril has already told him about it because he knows the state that Brandon is in when it comes down to a situation. But then again, it kind of made me laugh at Brittany because I'm like, Brittany, really? You already know that he's not okay with what went down as far as him finding out about August, but then also finding out that his father was unfaithful to his mother. So having a surprise dinner for him would have been a good idea. I think it was smart for Jabril to let him know off the bat, because him walking into that, you were going to get a totally different Brandon, because we know when Brandon goes off, Brandon goes off. So, excuse me. So we know it was a good thing that Brandon told him. But we even see that there was a scene where Brandon and Brittany actually interacted with each other. We can definitely tell that they're polar opposites, but they really do love each other. And, she's still saying that, look, there's nothing we can do about it. He's here, and we should just embrace it. And she says, I'm glad that, and Brandon was honest with her, like, look, I'm glad that you're there, but I'm not there yet. And you need to respect where I am. I see things a little differently. Because the reason why she was there was to kind of surprise Brandon about the surprise party, because their father decided not to call Brandon no more because Brandon been ignoring his calls, and the times that he's called, Brandon been cussing him out, so he just chose not to call Brandon no more. So we see that Brittany's there, to kind of surprise him, but Dad called Brandon just like, I know about the birthday dinner. I'm probably rolling. I was like, you just shut her down. But, she also talks about that there's this guy that she's talking to and she's known him for about 2 years, and she asks Brandon, can she bring him to the birthday dinner? And he says, sure, why not? The more the merrier. Why not? Bring him. And if anything, Jabril kind of caught that. He was like, your ass ain't slick, Brandon. And Brandon's like, what you talking about? Like, come on now. You want her to bring her man that nobody knows about. She's been dating him for quite some time, but she's been kind of keeping them to herself. And this would be the first time he's going to actually meet the family. So he's like, so Jabril's like, I see what you're doing. You want her to bring her man so that the attention can be off of you. And Brandon was like, well, partly, but he's like, yeah, but it ain't gonna matter because the attention gonna be on me anyway, regardless of what I do. So I'm gonna face whatever it is. And then we also see that they're still talking to Dr. Jim Rose, and he's seeing that Brandon is starting to make some type of progress, as far as spiritually, because he wants to start getting back in the church because he grew up in church, but he hasn't been to church in a while. And then Jabril's kind of like, really? I mean, because he's saying that he's never been to church, and he grew up in a family where they didn't go to church. And we know them Davenports are off the hook. So. But it was cool that they actually showed Brandon and Jabril going to church with each other, and we're seeing that, Jabril was like, it wasn't too bad. But he's saying, and then Brandon was like, yeah, we should actually find a church in the neighborhood that we can join. And he's like, we ain't going to be going to church every Sunday and everything. He's like, well, no, not every Sunday, but at least we can have a church to call home anytime we have, trials and tribulations. We can go to the Lord to ask him to help us. And Jabril agrees, and it's kind of showing that more and more they're getting closer. And then they also have another session with Dr. Rhodes, and Dr. Rhodes lets them know that, look, you guys are making progress, and you actually see that you're not alone anymore. You actually have the support of your husband, and that he's showing you day by day that he's going to be there for you. But then he says that your task now is that when you go home, to visit your family, you need to sit down and actually talk to your father. Which, honestly, I think he should, because, hypothetically speaking, I think there's more to the story than Brandon knows, and I think his father is holding that missing piece to the puzzle. So probably him talking to his father could be the best thing for him, even though it's probably going to be some fire in that situation. But Brandon agrees that, yeah, I will talk to my dad, and, you know, and he says that you'll have nothing to worry about because you have Jabril. Jabril is going to be there. He's going to support you. You're not going to be by yourself. So you need to know that your other half is going to be with you every step of the way. So that was really good. And then we also saw the aftermath of what we witnessed in the last episode of Liddy and Laura's relationship. You know, we see that they're still close, but we can definitely see that there's definitely some tension on Laura's end after finding out that Liddy is HIV positive. But we see that the two of them are still interacting with each other. We see that the love is still there, but you can definitely tell there's some uncertainty with Laura. And he even, you know, asks her to go to his doctor visit or whatever. You know, she's like, I don't think I should do that. He's like, no, I want you to come. I want you to come and actually meet my doctor. You know, she's really good. And he's like, oh, you have a female doctor? She's like, yeah, she's very good at what she does. And, you know, I learned a lot from her, and, you know, and I think she can teach you some stuff too. At first she was hesitant, but she decides to go with him, and she does. And we actually see that she actually did learn some things about HIV, but she says that, you know, she eventually tells him, because what ends up happening is that Laura has to go out of town. I think she has to go to D.C. to, you know, with Davenport Industries, because there's some you know, residuals and stuff like that she has to work out. So she has to go out of town. But she lets him know that, look, it's not that I'm against HIV and everything, but, you know, this is all new to me, and I need time to really process it. And Liddy agrees. He's like, yeah, I understand. You know, take all the time you need, but I'm going to be here, and that I love you, and, you know, I want you to know how serious I am about you. So we saw that go on. Excuse me for a second. Forgive me, everybody. I'm kind of under the weather right now, which is why this video is late. Excuse me. So what ended up happening was that after that, we saw that Lenny went to go talk to Jabril. Now, Jabril didn't know the full out, you know, thing that Lenny was holding back. He just knew that Lenny was holding something back, and even from Allura didn't even tell him what, you know, she didn't even tell what Lenny had told her about him being HIV. She just said that her and Lenny had it out or whatever. So now we see that Lenny and Jabril are sitting down talking, and they kind of go back and forth, and Lenny apologizes for the way he acted. He said, I just had a lot of my own shit bottled up, and I didn't know how to express it. But shout out to Sam Wiley and Kenyon O'Brien in this scene. They both really did some very good groundbreaking work in this scene right here, because in this scene, after they start talking, you know, Lenny finally tells Jabril that he's HIV positive. And Jabril, you know, just asks, well, may I ask how you contracted it? He says that after me and Laura broke up the last time, I was very reckless with women. And he's saying that, no, I'm not trying to jump that, oh, because you HIV, you're obviously gay. Because, again, HIV is not a gay disease. You know, it's a human disease, and if you're a human who's sexually active and you're not protecting yourself, you can catch HIV, regardless whether you're straight or gay. So I was glad that the two of them, one being a straight man, the other being a gay man, having an honest man-to-man conversation about HIV, and that there was no judgment. And, you know, Lenny was able to open up and talk to Jabril about his struggle, and that he took Allura to his doctor. And he says that I've been very careful. I wanted to show her that I would never put her in harm's way, that, you know, I'm undetectable and all of that. And, you know, and he was saying that, look, we can make this work. And then, you know, Jabril was like, yeah, because everybody makes it seem as if, like, HIV is still a death sentence. It's no longer a death sentence. There's better treatment out here for people with HIV. And that, you know, we should actually, you know, change the way we're thinking in terms of HIV. and that, you know, people with HIV are no longer dying off like they were in the 80s and the 90s. You know, people with HIV can actually live long lives if they get good treatment, if they, you know, if they live a healthy lifestyle, and, you know, if they stick with it, you know, they can do great things. And it was amazing to actually see both of them have this conversation, and the two of them hug it out. And he's saying that, look, you know, at the end of the day, I just knew there was something bothering you, but I didn't know what it was. But I'm glad that you felt comfortable to tell me about this. But then I really am rooting for you in the Lord that you guys can really work through this. And then, like, Liddy lets her know that, yeah, she does need some time, but I'm really hoping that it will actually bring us closer together rather than, you know, tear us apart. And pretty much it's like, you know, time will tell. But I'm really rooting that Liddy and Allure will come around, and Allure will finally get past, you know, the stigma. And, well, more I would say the stigma, but more the shock of finding out about Liddy, and fully embrace the fact that the love between you two of you is still there, and that hasn't changed, and it's unwavering love. So that's a great thing. But yeah, that was definitely a powerful scene. So that's what I have, everybody. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode, as well as, you know, your views on Triangle Blue Velvet. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I've started a GoFundMe. You can actually check out that link in the description box. Also, the link to brtbtv.com is also going to be in the description box. You can also click that link to get to brtbtv.com and subscribe today. Just subscribe again. So that's what I have for you guys, and I will be back with you with the next episode. So until then, everybody, take care.